It's Tuesday, April the 21st, 2026. You're listening to the DX Today AI Daily Brief. Today, Amazon pours another $25 billion into Anthropic in a sweeping cloud pact. Adobe unveils an agentic customer experience platform with NVIDIA. And Jeff Bezos nears a $10 billion raise for his new AI lab. Let's get into it.
Amazon said Monday it will invest up to $25 billion more in Anthropic, on top of the roughly $8 billion it has already committed. $5 billion flows in now, with up to $20 billion more tied to future commercial milestones. In exchange, Anthropic agreed to spend over $100 billion on Amazon Web Services across the next decade, locking in up to 5 gigawatts of compute on Amazon's custom Trainium and Graviton chips. The initial tranche values Anthropic at $380 billion. Analysts see the deal as a mirror of Amazon's $50 billion commitment to OpenAI 2 months ago. It deepens Amazon's bid to anchor itself in the economics of frontier AI.
Over in Las Vegas, Adobe made its move.
At Adobe Summit yesterday, Adobe unveiled CX Enterprise Coworker, a new agentic AI platform that orchestrates customer experience workflows end-to-end, from content creation through personalization and activation. The system is built with NVIDIA, pulling in the NVIDIA Agent Toolkit, the OpenShell Secure Runtime, and the OpenNemotron models to serve regulated industries. Crucially, Adobe says the platform will operate across rival AI stacks, including Amazon Web Services, Anthropic, Google Cloud, Microsoft, and OpenAI. Adobe shares rose about 2% in pre-market trading on the news. A live demonstration of CX Enterprise Coworker anchors today's Day 2 keynote, signaling Adobe's most aggressive pivot yet into autonomous enterprise agents.
Now to the AI chip race.
Bloomberg reported Monday that Google is preparing a new wave of inference-focused tensor processing units designed to run AI models after training, and it is positioning them squarely against NVIDIA. Google is now in talks with Marvell Technology to co-develop 2 inference chips, joining Broadcom and MediaTek in a 4-partner supply chain. The split strategy assigns Broadcom's Sunfish chip to training, MediaTek's Zebrafish to lower-cost inference, and a new Marvell design for memory processing. Analysts project custom ASIC sales will jump roughly 45% in 2026. With Google's 7th-generation Ironwood TPU already deployed, the pressure on NVIDIA's inference franchise is intensifying.
And a 4-month-old lab cashes in.
London startup Recursive Superintelligence closed a $500 million pre-Series A raise on Monday at a $4 billion valuation. The round was co-led by GV, Google's venture arm, and NVIDIA. It arrives just 4 months after the company was incorporated by Tim Rocktacial, a University College London professor and former Google DeepMind scientist, and Richard Socker, the former chief scientist at Salesforce. The startup aims to build AI that rewrites its own code and architecture, removing human intervention from training loops entirely. Investor interest was reportedly so heavy that the final round could balloon toward $1 billion. It is among the most aggressive bets yet on recursive self-improvement as a commercial path.
China's robotics race heats up.
Chinese embodied AI startup X Square Robot emerged Monday with a Series B round of nearly 2 billion renminbi, or about $276 million. The round was co-led by Xiaomi and Sequoia China, with ByteDance, Meituan, and Alibaba also joining. X Square is building general-purpose humanoid robots that combine foundation models with real-world physical systems. The raise highlights a sharp investor pivot into embodied AI, where physical agents powered by large models are seen as the next frontier beyond software-only intelligence. It also reinforces China's determination to compete head-on with U.S. players like Figure and Physical Intelligence. Embodied AI is rapidly becoming one of the most contested layers in the global AI stack.
From chips to cooling towers.
Delta Electronics used yesterday's opening of Data Center World 2026 in Washington to unveil a new integrated power, cooling and infrastructure architecture built specifically for AI workloads. At the center is Delta's Ultron DPM, Gen 2 uninterruptible power supply line, spanning 250 to 2,500 kilovolt amperes, with efficiency up to 97.5% in modular scaling to 20 megawatts. The launch targets operators struggling with the extreme power densities demanded by next-generation AI training clusters. Delta also emphasized advanced liquid cooling and rack-level intelligence. With nearly half of planned U.S. data center capacity delayed or canceled, hyperscale operators are aggressively shopping for more efficient, denser designs.
Now Samsung steps into the frame.
Fresh leaks, Monday, point to Samsung, revealing its long-rumored Galaxy AI smart glasses in July alongside the Galaxy Z Fold 8 and Z Flip 8. Samsung is developing two versions, an advanced model with an in-lens augmented reality display and an affordable everyday model. The effort is anchored by a powerhouse partnership. Samsung builds the hardware, Google supplies Android XR software, and Qualcomm provides specialized augmented reality silicon. Samsung is also collaborating with eyewear brands Warby Parker and Gentle Monster on frame design. The move sharpens a brewing showdown with Meta's Ray-Ban line and Apple's coming entry. Smart glasses are rapidly emerging as the next major consumer AI hardware battleground.
And Apple is tuning its own launch.
Apple Insider reported Monday that Apple is accelerating its long-rumored smart glasses project, codenamed N50, toward a late 2026 or early 2027 launch. Apple is now testing 4 frame designs, with a consumer rollout expected to lean on the iPhone to offload processing, enabling a lightweight and fashion-forward look. The report frames Apple's arrival as the true pivot point for the category and says Cupertino is watching Meta and Samsung closely before locking the product spec. Ambient AI features, including Siri integration and real-time scene understanding, are central to the pitch. The glasses are shaping up as Apple's biggest new form factor bet since Vision Pro.
A heated debate on chip exports.
NVIDIA chief executive Jensen Huang got drawn into a high-stakes public debate Monday with podcast host Dwarkesh Patel over whether the United States should keep exporting advanced AI chips to China. Patel invoked Anthropic's latest model as an example, arguing that sufficiently capable AI could help adversaries uncover large-scale system vulnerabilities and mount more damaging cyberattacks. Huang pushed back, framing the AI industry as 5 layers: energy, chips, infrastructure, models, and applications, and warned Washington against policies that sacrifice one layer to benefit another. The exchange lands as NVIDIA faces mounting bipartisan scrutiny on China exports. It also signals a widening rift between AI hardware leaders and national security hawks.
Meanwhile, Jeff Bezos goes bigger.
According to a Bloomberg report citing the Financial Times, Jeff Bezos is nearing a $10 billion funding round for his new AI lab, Project Prometheus, which is developing foundation models that can reason about the physical world. The round, if it closes this week, would vault Bezos squarely into the upper tier of AI capital formation, alongside OpenAI, Anthropic, xAI, and recursive superintelligence. Sources told the FT the lab is recruiting aggressively from DeepMind, Meta, and Tesla, and has built out dedicated compute capacity. Prometheus targets robotics, autonomous systems, and industrial automation. The raise underscores how quickly Bezos is moving to plant a personal flag in frontier AI.
Now to the data center backlash.
Fortune reported Monday that U.S. data centers accounted for roughly half of all new electricity demand in the country last year, even as public opinion on AI has soured sharply. The global comparison is stark. Data centers drove just 17% of new electricity demand worldwide. In some American communities near large data center builds, residential electricity bills have climbed as much as 267% versus 2020 levels. Town halls in rural districts are now openly blaming hyperscale operators for higher bills and grid strain. The souring mood is translating into real project risk, with roughly 7 gigawatts of planned U.S. capacity already canceled or delayed, as permitting fights pile up ahead of the midterms.
And Meta sharpens its knife.
Meta confirmed Monday it will cut roughly 8,000 jobs as part of a broad AI-driven restructuring. The move lands inside a larger reckoning, with tech sector layoffs topping 73,000 in the first 4 months of 2026, across more than 95 companies. A new report pinned nearly half of those cuts directly on AI automation and workflow redesign. Oracle has slashed up to 30,000 roles. Snap is cutting about 16% of staff. And Meta is now reallocating savings into the $115 to $135 billion of AI capital spending it plans for this year. The white-collar labor market is being reshaped in real time.
That's your briefing for Tuesday, April the 21st, 2026. For DX Today, stay curious.